Yo, what's good, YouTube? Today we reacting to Dillon ranking every episode of Boondocks season 1. He hit me up and said that he dropped this video, so now we finna watch this shit. I was actually waiting for this. I'm not even gonna lie. The day before, I checked his channel to see if the video that he was talking about dropped yet, and I was like, oh shit, he didn't drop. Then the next day he dropped, so you know, yes sir, good timing. All right, so we gonna get straight into it. Let's get it. Yo, I reacted. I said reacted. I watched my reaction to his last video, and like recently, and I heard like my AC was just blasting, bro. I'm like, how are people even able to watch this shit? My AC was straight up just blasting and shit. I'm sorry, I know that's off topic, but like that shit pissed me off. I'm like, why is my AC straight up blasting? So like, it's not summer anymore. It's not hot. It's cold. We got snow outside and shit. The only thing you want to hear is possibly my PC fans, bro. That's pretty much it, bro. But I'm so sorry for that, bro. That shit, like, I hate when it's summer and all you hear is my AC just blasting, and like you could hear it more than the video at some points and shit, like, and stuff. Like, it's like I had it's like Dillon's video was like lower than the AC and shit. I'm like, damn, bro, I can barely like hear this shit, bro. And I just noticed that months later, bro. But yeah, we gonna tune into this shit. What's it call it? What else I was about to say? I definitely want to catch up to some of your other videos because I saw that you dropped that Afro Samurai video. We fuck with Afro Samurai over here. I literally got an Afro Samurai costume because I dressed as Afro Samurai not this year but last year for Halloween and shit. So we finna be watching that. I'm finna be catching up to your vids. Sorry for the long intro. Let's get straight into it, bro. We ranking the fights season 1. I hope the audio is good.
Season 2. The block is hot as the worst episode in the Boondocks.
I hope the audio is good. Hold on,
give me.
Hold on. My fault. Give me one moment. We playing Rust after I react to this joint. I'm just hitting up my homies and my girl what time that we hopping on Rust.
In the solar system, she just be ruining things. Like Huey trying to educate the people and save them from despair, and she's selling products. However, Huey chose to be seated where she was already stationed, so I can't hate too hard. Ed Wunsler swindles Jasmine because, of course, in the midst of that, Ruckus becomes a police officer after the whole force tried to skewer him. With
All right, wait, what fight is up to here? Oh, this.
Jasmine is supposed to be the girl who struggles with identity. She doesn't know whether she's black or white. She just wants to be accepted for being a person. In this show, I think she identifies as somebody who brings irreconcilable fury to my heart. Tom is a lawyer and ain't read no contract, leaving his daughter to be enslaved. At least she's staying in touch with
that Lemonade episode was wild.
Not funny enough to save this from being a horrendous episode. At least in the episode with Granddad and Mo.
Wait, this is ranking. I'm stupid. Why did I read it? I'm so sorry, y'all. I read it as every fight in Boondocks season 1 instead of I saw I'm my fault. I'm dumb. Ranking every episode of Boondocks in season 1. Okay, my bad. Okay, so the Lemonade episode is the worst episode in his opinion. Okay. I mean, honestly, Boondocks is fire as fuck. So, what's it call it? I'm not really tripping about this one being an FT or anything like that. So it was an okay episode.
Girl, but F Jazz, when she suffered, I smiled. Remember when I said I was gonna bring up Wingman? Here I go. Yo, I ain't gonna hold you. F Mo and everything he stood for. I know this episode's supposed to be about forgiving the past and being the bigger person, but bro, I was feeling Granddad when he said
this episode. This episode's not really that memorable either. I mean, not either, but I remember the Lemonade. I remember the Lemonade episode, but this episode right here is not really that memorable.
She's chopping it up with Huey because she's feeling him. A plot point never revisited, and because he's about to leave Woodcrest for a funeral, which will allow him to go see his friend.
Oh wait,
it makes me violently ill.
Is this the episode where the guy's like, "What's good, my brother?" Is it that episode? Because never mind, it is memorable if it's that episode. I'm pretty sure it's that episode. Yeah, it is that episode. Literally, the biggest moment of that episode is literally just that part. Like, everything else is not really that memorable, but just that one segment is just memorable.
Of life. Freeman's touchdown in Chicago, and Cairo acts like a weirdo immediately, even though Huey tried to stay in contact. Dude's ungrateful. He doesn't even look black. He just looks stupid. And then there's Dewey. First of all, you got a new friend who's like a Walmart edition of Huey with a rhyming name. Bro said salami, eggs, and bacon instead of salami, eggs.
Salami, eggs, and bacon.
Friendship whore. Thank goodness it's season 1, because if I saw Huey put up with this in season 3, I'd be ashamed ashamed of him. Huey should have sent Cairo up to Mo. Random. But shout out to Maybelline for being the most hideous thing I ever saw. I saw her face while I was eating and I dead wanted to throw up. If I was Granddad, she would have got the
spitting all over my fucking face. Like, back up, bro.
Right after that. Episode dead should have ended when Robert...
So far valid. So far valid.
Piece of garbage Mo was.
So far valid.
Lucky his casket wasn't there.
I probably... I'm gonna be honest. I would probably put this episode below the Lemonade episode, but regardless, though, it's valid so far.
Steal my award and then bring it to his funeral would have had me frothing at the mouth with anger. Right after, we get more from Mo's illegitimate corn.
Because in my opinion, this episode was the least interesting episode of the season.
Rapping that bull. I'd have thrown something at him. Fortunately, Riley did. He's the realest person in this episode. Unfortunately, Cookie manipulated.
What's your favorite season in Boondocks? Yeah, how you doing, twin? I'm doing good, gang. What's good? What's up? What's up? My bad for looking at your message like late as hell. Your comment. What's good? What's up?
Stupid to me because they want to shame Robert for throwing away his friendship with this objectively bad guy. Like, nobody should even be at his funeral. Freeman's went out bad this episode. Huey got practically concussed at the end. Pathetic. If they rewrote it to say Mo was a bad guy for most of his life, then tries to turn it around and Robert's not giving him a chance, and that's where he's wrong, that's dandy. Instead, y'all made him so unlikable, so deserving of my hatred, only to create no payoff. Forgiveness should only be given to people who want to do better. Why am I forgiving somebody who's not sorry? There's no moral of the story here. The moral that I gathered is all the hate that a person accrues in life, he deserves tenfold in death. I hate this episode more now than when I first scripted this 2 years ago. The real also in D tier, Cosbiness is next to godliness.
Oh, he was gonna make this video 2 years ago. Is that what you saying? He said that when I first scripted this. Okay.
The real also in D tier, Cosbiness is next to godliness might be the worst age quote in all of the Boondocks, which is effing funny. This episode also feels like a prelude to the fundraiser, which was similar in nature and outcome, yet uses a different trope and did it infinitely better. But I'm always going to respect the hustler mentality that Riley's got. If harnessed, my goodness, this man would reach an unfathomable, unrivaled, unparalleled.
Riley really the hustler. Top hustler.
As a way to get a house renovation and car upgrade felt like something fresh out of Ed and Eddie. I love it. Even so, this is one of the episodes I've seen the least out of the whole show. It just wasn't punching like that. I'd rather watch Cash Money Mark's MTV Cribs parody than this exhibit parody. I don't even see what it taught. Maybe that Huey will forever accurately predict situations only to be ignored, because I promise you the lesson wasn't don't scam bums, because if I thought I could have pulled off this same ploy and gotten away with it, White Shadow, a secret agent who's not really there but is always there, is also brought into the fold. But bro, that didn't add nothing to the whole series. It just showed that Huey's paranoid and he probably got schizophrenia sitting in the tub. That don't speak to me. This is one of the weakest episodes in the Boondocks' run. I do wish they had referred back to this episode in like season 4 as an explanation as to why the Freemans are broke, but they did not do that. I'd even have taken a big payoff between Huey and White Shadow. I don't know. All we get is no long-term consequences because the crib was fixed in the next episode.
C tier.
No pun intended, I slept on the itis when I initially watched it. I thought it was just a weak episode about food with no deeper meaning. I completely overlooked the fact it's a metaphor for the crack epidemic, gentrification, and the destructive traditions of black culture as a whole. Not gonna lie, I'm dumb for that. With the context, it does make me want to raise my ranking for this episode a smidge higher. At the same time,
when you rewatch this episode when like you grow older and stuff like that, it makes you see it differently.
A little bit, and the Mexican jokes, it wasn't extremely funny to me. We also get the worst singing Tom has ever done, which kind of bums me out. Instead of singing, he should have talked crazy to these junkies. Since all of them want to move like they own public housing, he should have fed everybody bullets and made sure East Section 8 that way. Here's the thoughts of my melanin deficient comrade when asked about this episode.
Rating it on a scale of 1 to 10, probably like a -2. Tier list, it's an F. It is not no fundraiser.
Oh, is this another content creator?
Made sure East Section 8 that way. Here's the thoughts of my melanin deficient comrade when asked about this episode.
Rating it on a scale of 1 to 10,
I think it's his
probably
homie.
like a -2. Tier list, it's an F.
-2. Tier list is an F.
A little bit of food.
So he put this shit on F. F
Some
tier.
fat white bitches.
I remember this part.
I didn't really care about. Nobody was really hustling. Nobody was making money, and once there was getting paid off.
No money was getting pushed. No.
Unfortunately,
Bruh.
I've also got to put the story of Gangstalicious in C tier as well. I've got to admit, I thought
Gangstalicious episodes on C tier too.
The jokes landed from
Oh wow.
Plot-wise, it sort of fell flat.
I feel like a lot of memes,
And
come from this
he
episode.
had at least 50 cents to him. Riley being a major fan of
I mean,
his,
it's valid. He put it in
trying
C
to
tier.
duck the ops with him. Cool. It's just nothing.
There's better
special. I did
episodes.
appreciate Gangstalicious admitting the fact he's not like that for referral in a very touching scene, which seems to be a common trope among rappers in this show. But that ending was, just towards the bottom. If they had combined both parts of the Gangstalicious arc to be a mega episode, I would have ranked it higher. How they tackled the ignorance of rappers in this episode, though, superb. Gangstalicious and Eat Dirt beefing over literally nothing and continue to get themselves shot. Yet we, the people, are supposed to act surprised every time something bad happens to them. It's kind of funny, but it's super sad. There's an Aaron Magruder interview where he talks about how ignorant rap as a genre has become, how it hasn't really improved over time. And yikes! The fact that this is still holding true 20 years since.
20 years later.
That's probably why Gangstalicious is made to be this pathetic person. He's not supposed to be cool in any aspect because that's a reflection of how Aaron feels. This was supposed to kind of hit Riley in a way where
There's a lot of rappers. I ain't going to name call, but a lot of rappers got a persona that they gotta uphold, and it's not really them and shit. So
it had put him on a more positive path. Instead, he goes, Gangstalicious was a fake gangster. I'm a real one. So I'm gonna.
And I feel like it's gotten worse over the years in terms of that, bro. Rappers holding this persona, whether it's like the mysterious persona or whatever, like
Gangstalicious is gay? That can't be. That conflicts with my previous views on gangsters as a whole. So I'm just gonna think this was all a dream. I love this little idiot, dude.
B tier.
Framing Christmas kicking off B tier. It's dope how the title's a reference to Charlie Brad.
I know that the Stink Meaner, bro, like every Stink Meaner episode has to be high, bro. The Stink Meaner episodes, especially the seasons 2 and 3 ones, bro.
Since Aaron Magruder,
every Stink Meaner episode gotta be up there, so I'm hoping that the Stink Meaner episodes are up there.
I usually don't like Christmas episodes.
Also, is the Booty Warrior on season 1 too, where Tom is like and them are at the prison? Is that season 1 or is that season 2? It might be 3. I don't even remember.
Actually, when it's not Christmas. But this episode did everything right. One of the first times religion is alluded to in the show, even starting with Jazz in church preaching to the Christmas believers. Riley even asked where Santa was when they were struggling, an allegorical question many have when they see horrible
that's real
happens to the world and they don't receive any help at all. It's top-notch stuff. Huey's teacher gives the opportunity for him to present his vision, which is a little funny because he again enforces that same trope we see in episode 1 where he's not really taken seriously because he's just a cute little kid. No, Jared. Huey then crafts his story promising to dress it up with scale and special effects, a not so subtle nod to what the Boondocks is as a whole. I say this because if you dig hard enough, there's a little bit of evidence showing Aaron Magruder had involvement in season 4 but wanted his name off of it due to whatever happened behind the scenes. Huey was just like that in this episode when he walked off towards the end, stating that if his work was changed, it wouldn't be his vision and to take his name off of it. And foreshadowing of real life.
Like, bro, I hate when movie companies do that. I actually made a skit about that too, funny enough. When they change shit in your movie and stuff, and then they end up making it. First of all, it's no longer your vision anymore. They keep adding stuff. Editors keep adding stuff, like all that shit and whatnot, and it ends up being worse than what it originally was, or it just ends up just not being your vision, or both, obviously, or both. And shit, bro, I hate that shit. It's like, what are you doing, bro? Just release the movie the way that it was intended to be from the original writer. And if you want to add anything else, like respectfully ask them. Don't just force it in that shit. Like that shit is always be weird to me, bro. I don't know why Hollywood be doing that shit, though.
Created a pleasant episode overall. Like the letter to Santa from Riley gives me hope.
Dear Santa, you're bitch ass. Yo, that shit was funny as fuck, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that was the funniest part of that episode. Dear Santa.
Just nothing was great to me from here, though. Episode 1, the garden party is in B tier, and it's also the first time you hear the theme song. Every time I hear it elicits the same reaction from me. A feeling of
the theme song is fire as fuck.
Dude, this theme song is an absolute
it's like that. It's one of the best theme songs in like cartoon history, if not most likely the best in like cartoon history, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
So the Huey's dream about making the white people right is so funny. It immediately breaks down the Huey character because you don't see him stray away or pivot from the personality depicted. Granddad ruins Huey's dreams because he's a pawn in the white man's villainy all episode. Real quick though, rest in peace to John Witherspoon. Love that boy, phenomenal voice actor. He was built for this role. The Freemans head to Ed Wensler's garden party, and that's when Ruckus appears on screen. From here until the episode's conclusion, he's putting Will Chamberlain numbers on the screen. Every line he says lands, which is the energy I needed going into this video. Couple that with him staring down Huey, you've got a recipe for excellence. Ed Wensler III makes his way on screen, aka Charlie Murphy, who did a marvelous job voicing him because everything he says after being introduced was effing hysterical. Rest in peace to one of the best characters in the show. As Huey is trying to get the white people to riot again, Riley shoots Ed III out a window. Normally that will lead to an arrest, but Ed Sr. is a pretty chill guy, so he shares a drink with Robert and calls it a day. From beginning to end, the garden party is the definition of a classic. What
That's a solid episode.
So much about this episode is every character's first sentence breaks them down to a T. You're never like, oh man, I thought he was gonna be like this and I was wrong. Thinking about the characters they use to introduce the concept that the 1% do not care about the struggles of not only black people but the world at large, you realize that every single character they showcase fulfilled this purpose. Most surgical introduction of a cast I've ever witnessed. If you weren't paying attention to the actual message behind this episode, you can still
solid episode. It's a solid episode.
So many funny and quotable moments here. When talking about perfect first episodes, this has to be one of them. Zero dry spots. It lost points for having Granddad to be on
naked as a
that was just
right in the beginning.
What I got going on. So if that could never happen again for the rest of the series, it would mean a lot to me. I've got nothing but
and thankfully it never happened again.
Oprah.
I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, it never happened again.
Jackson and Charlie Murphy for their performances in this episode. They definitely carried. And having Riley be the voice of not reason but logic was a fun twist that made them a great trio to watch. I really wish that we could have seen them alongside Thugnificent and let her get into some hijinks together like over the course of the series. Bushido Brown's in this episode before his return in season 3, and at this time he's voiced by Cedric Yarbrough.
This episode, yeah, man.
The cheeky lines.
Bushido Brown versus Huey, bro. That shit was fire. That shit was fire.
Since they had a ton of MF Doom playing. His music seems fire from everything I've heard. I'm just not in tone. This also is the first time we see Huey and Riley scrap.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame fade for real.
Nah, that everybody. Yeah, everybody always talks about this fade or puts this fade in their videos when they talk about Boondocks, bro. It's iconic. It's just iconic as hell, y'all. Like, come on now. It's iconic as hell.
One of the few times Huey smiles in the series. It's such a fun episode. As much as I like the garden party and everything else in this tier, the trial of R. Kelly was an insane quality.
Yeah, the trial of R. Kelly, dog. This episode was fucking hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. It was a hilarious episode. Like, obviously, it's unfortunate because, like, it's based off, like, you know, some real shit and stuff, and that's, you know, very unfortunate, obviously. But, like, the episode itself within Boondocks, dog, it's just funny. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Infinitely more quotables as it contained one of the most wonderful
slices it was an enjoyable episode. I'm not gonna lie. Like, bro, Riley was fucking dog. Riley had no chill on this episode, bro. Like, dead ass, Riley had no chill on this episode. This episode is like, it's not super unhinged, but it's not an episode that could be released in 2025. Let's be honest, bro. The world has become like there's a lot of snowflakes out there and shit. So this episode would not be able to drop in 2025. Let's be honest, it would not be able to. Like, if Boondocks was still going on today, they'd definitely do a Diddy episode. Like they would 100% do a Diddy episode for sure. 100%.
Shows just how bad Tom is at his job.
They'd do a Diddy episode. They'd probably do a Donald Trump episode.
West makes a cameo, then bodies Tom. Brother went 0-2 disgracefully. How are you in your 30s asking a 10-year-old for courtroom advice? This is why
they probably do a Tory Lanez episode.
Almost took his wife and stink meter plowed her. Cause it's a joke. What I do find odd is this is the only time Tom's relationship being interracial is brought up outside of when Ruckus is being Ruckus. Seems like a missed opportunity for potential storylines. During the trial, Granddad and Ruckus play checkers and talk about the harmful effects of Snow Bunny mind control or something. I don't know. I will say though, the trial segment aged like Morgan Freeman and a glass of wine. Art versus the artist is something that'll always be a subject argued. My mom would have been just like Riley and the rest of the audience rooting for R. Kelly's freedom. They hit.
The thing is, like, for me, it really depends on what they do. If they do something vile like that, or if it comes to like PDF type of stuff, that's something that you cannot separate the artist from the art. You feel me? But if it's like something else, like some little petty drama or some shit like that, then I'm able to separate the art from the artist. Like, if I like the music, I like the music. I'm gonna listen to it. I'm gonna fuck with it. But if it's something in that regard, like some PDF allegations type shit or whatever, like, nah, like I can't listen to your shit, bro. I gotta, you feel me? Like, I'm done with that. And it's like hardcore proof. Like, it's actually like there's proof and evidence. Like, and you're like, you're done. You're exposed and shit. Like, yeah, we're done here. We're done here, gang.
Taking a look at modern day, you could point to the David and Diddy situations respectively.
They would have made a David episode too. They definitely would have
scripted this 2 years ago. I was ready to use Kanye as an example, and that's what I love so much about this. Every year there will be another artist that will make you revisit this same conversation with a new perspective. A-tier starts with Riley was here. This story's A-side was incredible to me and some of the best Boondocks material.
Oh, this episode.
I love how they used Riley, playing off of his need for respect and acceptance from his peers. A very common desire among children. Shoot, even adults. Why else?
So far, I'm not in disagreement at all with these tiers. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the only, like, at first I was like, oh, I feel like I'd put the Gangsta Licious episode at least on bottom B tier. But seeing like the B tier and like remembering the other episodes, like it makes sense why this is just at top of C and shit. And then the only thing, I'd probably put the Lemonade episode bottom D and put bottom D's episode in F. That was like the only thing. But so far, like, pretty much like everything I'm pretty in agreement on.
You think I made this video? Seeing Napoleon Ross harness his degeneracy into something constructive was amazing. I wish he could have been a recurring character because his relationship with Riley was so special to me. It pushed Riley to create this beautiful mural of
it was a good episode.
Granddad and his wife that gets Robert emotional.
It was a good episode, man.
He said it's Riley's parents, but that doesn't make sense for a couple reasons. You see Riley go in the photo book, and in it, there's multiple pictures of young Granddad before he grabs the reference. Huey would have also been in his feelings seeing his dead parents on his house, not just Granddad. And in the following episode, there's a flashback of Granddad without his glasses on, and he looks just like the painting. Dear viewer, you are so talented and gifted in so many ways, and expressing yourself will always be cooler than pretending to be
this was a solid episode.
Like,
I enjoyed it.
Riley likes Lauryn Hill. He ain't no gangster. I didn't care for Huey's Super Size Me parody or whatever, but it's grown on me. Even though he got black bangers like the Boondocks itself, Static Shock, the Wayans Bros, Martin, Jason Love, etc. The overall point of being cognizant of the media you consume due to the effects it will have on you is pretty genius as a concept, and using the Negro radical Huey Freeman as the subject for this was a great maneuver. This is even something the Bible teaches you. Luke 11:34 states, your eye is the lamp of your body. When your eye is healthy, your whole body is full of light, but when it is bad, your body is full of darkness. I ain't gonna act like this was the funniest episode to hit the interwebs. And if you think I'm
but
tripping
it
for
was
rating
it was
so highly, I feel
impactful.
you. But if someone
Nah. You ain't nothing wrong with you rating this episode this high. This was an impactful episode. It was like it dead ass. This was a good episode.
Done anything without that
Like I agree with you,
reinforcement from
yeah.
my peers.
Okay.
This episode
I don't think there's no one that's gonna be disagree with you. And maybe there might be somebody that might like put it like in B or some shit, but like I don't see anybody disagreeing with you.
If you asked me how I felt about the passion of Reverend Ruckus 2 years ago, I'd have been a lot more critical than I am now. This episode's an effing classic. They've been peppering religion in throughout the season and chose the season finale to capitalize. Initially, I didn't like the Ruckus stuff, but looking back on it, he's truly in his element here. It's actually some of the funniest stuff
Uncle
he's ever
Ruckus,
done.
one of the funniest.
Excuse
me, my fault. One of the funniest characters on Boondocks, bro. No cap.
Now seeks to spread the good word about how detestable Negroes are. Meanwhile, Huey is trying to free his friend Shabazz from jail after he's wrongfully put on death row. Ruckus is running amok with his commandments, and Huey's coming up with any plan possible to get Shabazz out of jail and denying the thought of a higher power altogether. Makes sense, since all season Huey has been a man of sheer logic. He's usually got all the answers, so for him to not only give up control to a higher power, but accept something that defies logic would be out of character, which is why it works so well when he does come around. All throughout the episode, you see him fight and scheme and plan, and now he's down to his last option. Operation Black Steel is what I would have said, but Granddad shut that down with the quickness so he could go get Ruckus to stop wilding. Told Huey to his face, your friend's gonna die because I'm not gonna help you enact your plan. Punched me in my chest because Huey's like, I gave him my word. Then before walking away in defeat says,
what makes your God any less made up than his?
as Ruckus shows the ugly sides of religion, there's literally nothing else Huey can do except pray. Let me get in my philosophical duffel real quick. I think the reason why Huey's prayer worked and Ruckus got absolutely bodied is because of the approach both of them took. Ruckus, as funny as his goal is, just hell bent on giving black people reason to hate themselves. Huey's trying to help somebody who's been wrongfully convicted, and his prayer is genuinely coming from a place of surrender. Huey was on his Proverbs 3:5-6.
This is probably like this episode probably has like some of Huey's best moments in the entire series. I'm not gonna lie. Like Dillon, you are breaking this shit down like I ain't gonna lie, bro. You breaking down these episodes even better than I thought you were. Like I already knew that you was gonna do a good job and shit like that. From the previous video I watched and stuff, like you definitely have talent for these type of videos. That's for sure. That's a fact or whatever. That's why I enjoyed reacting to your video last time and shit. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be checking them out and shit like that. And that's why I subscribed on both of my channels. You feel me? I subscribed to my main channel and my second channel and shit and stuff. But yeah, bro, like you are like literally breaking this shit down even further than I thought you was, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I know I should be saving my final thoughts for the end, but I just gotta say that now, dog. Especially after this.
He gets what he wanted, yet the ending looks to be an open-ended question, which I love. Was it Huey's prayer that saved Shabazz, or was it the anonymous letters? Your answer's dependent on your belief system.
He had to put the glasses on. You feel me? He had to put the glass. I don't know what the fuck my glasses at, but he had to put the glasses on. Don't mind there being tape on there. Oh no. Okay, I saw the soap. I saw the soap dropping. I thought it was that episode. But yeah, don't mind this being broken. But nah, this
began with Tom getting falsely imprisoned for catching a body. And having limited options employs Ed and Rummy to help solve the case. Both recognize Tom's lack.
This is the episode where they was in the
importance to the general populace.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, I remember this episode. Yeah.
A scene that has me in tears every time I see it.
This episode was good. They shine
a light on a lot of the injustices in the justice system, because even though Ed and Rummy started tweaking against this kind shop owner for no reason, even though they were definitely the aggressors, set tripping for no reason, they are looked at as heroes while the owner and his friends are viewed as actual criminals. This situation happens to Tom, the perfect role player for this episode. Because great jokes aside, innocent minorities are wrongfully arrested and convicted constantly, even if they are men of the law who have never committed a crime. And if you select any other character in this show, that key piece of information disappears. Initially, I thought the Ed and Rummy situation is just a comedic pivot away from the main plot, but it actually adds on to it subtly, and it works just as well as the Tom plot line. I'm insanely impressed. That's some sneaky work. Another really good episode. Guess Hoes Coming to Dinner is top 3 episodes.
Yeah, this episode's solid. This episode's good. This episode's good.
They kicked off the episode because it had nothing to do with anything.
The
beating.
Oh my gosh, this scene. So many people make clips on this scene, bro. So many people make clips on this scene. It's fucking hilarious, dog.
I was gonna say is the answer, but that sounds kind of
is the answer. I mean,
they just had this.
Hey man,
introduce Cristal.
You gotta discipline your children, man. You gotta discipline your children.
He was not getting some often. Cristal is the most obvious hoe that I've seen since my ex. She's got a everything. She owns his whole material. Like, we've actually got to be for real. If Granddad was a real player, if Game really recognized Game, he would have saw through the genjutsu.
Yeah.
Having a hoe's not wrong. Having multiple is even better. But where you start to lose me, not only as a viewer, but as a person, is when you start
to fall in love and cuffing them. Yeah.
Accurate,
you start falling in love and start cuffing them.
And staying away from these treacherous heathens. Because they only bring chaos, trouble, and misfortune. To add on to this tidal wave of disappointment, I honestly think Tom would have seen through this faster than Granddad did. However, without Granddad's stupidity,
low key,
we have some of the classic lines this episode is.
Yeah, he not wrong.
I'm in sales. It's like anybody who sells that word calling themselves an entrepreneur. Difference is, I respect the one who's selling more because at least you gotta learn a couple skills. It's not that hard to spread your legs. Interesting tidbit I noticed is Cristal was getting a ton of attention while leeching off the Freeman name, and Granddad didn't say a thing. Yet
Pip name slipped back.
With Ebony Brown, he's far more aware of the comments she's getting. I think that's a small bit of not regression per se, but it shows, oh, he's getting older, time's actually passing, and he's getting more insecure about his age and appearance, whereas in season 1 he's far more confident. Riley and Huey try to show Granddad the truth, only for it to prove fruitless. Thankfully, Cristal gets ran up on by her pimp named Slickback, aka Cat Williams, who acted as took us off. I knew him.
Pimp named Slickback
before I knew him.
One of the best characters, man.
Prayer is one of the most inspirational slices of dialogue to ever touch.
One of the best characters.
Still, though, Granddad not letting him put his hands on her, fire. Especially since the Boondocks instrumental was playing. Almost makes you forget the sad 45-second interaction him and Cristal share before she leaves. She would rather an easier lifestyle that gets fast cash than go back to school and get some kind of stable job or career. Meanwhile, Granddad's willing to help her. If that wasn't sad enough, after that, Huey wraps up the episode by saying, I think that everybody wants to find that special person so they'll never have to be alone again. And I think Granddad will find his, only for the show to end after 4 seasons with Granddad not having done that.
Yeah, true.
Passing away in real life. It makes me want to get emotional because this episode shows you that you might not always find that happy ending. Couple that with the soundtrack for this episode. I mean, the whole show's soundtrack is gold, but they got Gold Digger, and she's no good in this. And both are effing hits. Such powerful stuff, man.
S tier. We on the S tier. Let's get it. Oh yeah, this episode, bro. Oh my gosh, this episode is so good, bro. Where Martin Luther King, you niggas alone, no, that fucking scene, bro. I forgot how it was word for word, bar for bar. But that scene where like MLK basically broke and was like, yo, I can't help these people. Like it basically does make you question if MLK was still alive today, how would he react to how the black community is? Like, I'm not saying the black community as like a whole, but like the negative part of the black community, the raunchy part of the black community, the ghetto part of the black community, the freaky part of the black community. It's not the entirety of the black community, even though some people try to put that those descriptions on the entirety of it. It's not. It really isn't. It's a small portion of the community. stuff. But like it really does. This okay. Pushing that aside, this episode really makes you think. What would MLK think if he was alive today and saw all that shit? And it literally shows that shit, and it's just so fucking funny, bro.
I'd argue that
it's so funny, bro.
Best episode in the entire Boondocks series. In terms of sheer entertainment value, you could put stuff like the fundraiser.
It's funny as hell, bro.
Episode over it. Here's why I think it's goated, though. If we talking about entertainment and real themes coming together, uniting to create greatness, unmatched. Although a lot of Boondocks episodes are controversial, for Aaron Magruder to be on the news and questioned about this episode says a lot. By far the most pointed and aggressive critique of black culture as a whole in the show's run. Still found time to make room for quick jokes and segments with ease, culminating with Martin's speech. The way Martin expresses himself creates such an unforgettable moment in the series for me. For some reason,
the speech is funny, bro. The beginning of it is funny, and then it gets real.
It was just heartfelt and sincere. It wasn't like, here's the answers, but here's the problem, and I just want this to change because I care so much. Aaron said he wanted to end it upbeat, so he decided to add Oprah winning the presidential run, but I think it would have been interesting to see this episode end on a sour note. MLK makes that speech, goes off to Canada, passes, and we're still here, because that's realistically what happened. Oftentimes, I'm incredibly saddened that of all 55 Boondocks episodes, this is one that holds up extremely well. Granddad's fight wraps up S tier. Must watch episode. Off rip, I cried watching this. Every one or two lines, something brilliant was being said. Stink Meter is one of the greatest.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. All the stink meters on episodes in every season are solid episodes, bro. No cap. They're some of the best episodes. Like dead ass though. I love the fact that every season has a stink meter episode, bro. They're always the best. And my favorite ones are seasons 2 and 3, especially season 2, bro. I like, bro. Read, nigga, read. No. I can't, dog. That's my favorite scene in Boondocks, dog. That's my favorite scene in Boondocks. No cap, bro. Oh my gosh, that shit is too funny, bro.
Actually phenomenal. The one person who's been brought back to life more than Frieza, and every appearance has been viral. Even his season 4 appearance I enjoyed. The episode begins with Stink Meter driving on the scene, talking crazy to Granddad, stepping on his Air Forces, then dog walking him. Being defeated by Daredevil's first form wasn't even the craziest part. After getting whooped on, Granddad then has Eye of the Tiger playing in the car on the drive home. Viñata Man now feels he's gotta regain his honor like he Prince Zuko, when all QB is saying is it takes a bigger man to take an L, chalk it up, and keep it pushing. A great moral that Wingman failed to portray. You can draw a lot of parallels between Granddad's fight and J. Cole's diss on Kendrick, because everybody was just like Riley, getting in their ears, hyping it up, doing whatever it takes to create that. Both of them now feel obligated to do something that normally would be against their morals. Granddad starts training to beat up an old man, and J. Cole drops a subpar diss track. Unlike Granddad, J. Cole was able to say, you know what, I was wrong. Yet people still clowned on him. Granddad takes the ignorant route. Merch Stink Meter.
Yeah, people still clown on J. Cole, bro. Like, they still clown on him. But then, like, there's some people that turned over once they saw how bad the beef between Kendrick and Drake got. But there's some people who are like, nah, that man still apologized, bro. Like, come on, you a bad rapper. But it went beyond what J. Cole thought it would go until that moment when he apologized. He was like, yeah, I definitely see this going bad. I'm just pull out of this situation, bro, and stuff. But
everyone's still upset.
What my take on it? I've said my take on it before. If you know, you know.
You can't let other.
I feel like J. Cole still got my respect. Like J. Cole still got my respect, bro. That's pretty much my take on it and stuff. And my other opinion, Kendrick won the beef. I know a lot of Drake fans think that, bro, dead ass dog. Even if I was a hardcore Drake fan, I would still think Kendrick won the beef, bro, and not be biased, bro. Like I feel like people that think that Drake won that beef are not logical, and they're just like, you feel me? But like that's a conversation for another day, bro.
top to bottom.
That's a conversation for another
I can't say
day.
enough good things about it. Huey's fight versus the blind samurai was super well animated and dope to watch. Granddad annihilating Tom for the sake of his training brings joy to my heart. And Riley throwing a chair to avoid giving the crowd their money, thus starting a Royal Rumble, is the reason I consider him a national treasure. Well, that's my ranking for every episode this season. This
Solid. I'm gonna be honest. This is solid.
This is really a bad Boondocks episode, except for Eddie that Jazz is the star, and I fucking can't stand that heifer.
This is solid. This is solid. This is a solid
Came down
video.
to personal preference. 100 likes if y'all want me to do season 2. Comment down.
I agree with everything here. I would literally only just switch the Jasmine episode and the funeral episode around. That's literally the only 2 I would switch. Other than that,
Below your rankings,
everything else is
subscribe
pretty
and
solid.
hype
I'm not
the
gonna
video
lie.
if that's an
Pretty
option. I've
valid.
got no clue how it works. Do something nice for somebody you love, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Jersey.
Yes, sir. Shout out Dillon, bro. W video, bro. W's. Yes, sir. Oh wait, this is my first channel. Fuck. He probably not gonna realize that that's me. But W video. What the fuck? What? Wait. Since when did it switch to the alien? Was it on the alien the whole time? Yo, was it on the alien the whole time? Please don't tell me it was on the alien the whole time. Okay, it wasn't. I got that alien there for Russ, okay? If you know, you know, bro. Okay, but yeah, W video, bro. What's it called? I can't wait to see more. I'm definitely gonna tune into the other ones as well. I want to try to catch up on your vids and shit, for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much it, though. Bless your mind, bless your body, bless your soul, and peace out. I'm probably gonna comment